Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 37, A Story of Woe, of A Knight's Ransom. When we last left this intrepid group of explorers and adventurers who are acting as the vanguard for the army that is coming behind them, they killed a white dragon in service to a silver dragon. However, only 2 of them actually know it was a silver dragon that asked them to do the thing. As they travel, they are realizing that King and... Did I name him King Anders? Oh, good God. Me not remembering what the hell I named my own NPCs. They are realizing that King Anderson is not the paragon of virtue that he had portrayed himself to be in some of the very first episodes. Way back when they fought in the grand tournament back in Quo. Before I forget, we do have merch, so please feel free if you're checking us out and want to wear a little Dire Bear flair, exclamation point merch, and it'll take you to our merch store. Without further ado, let's get into game. Party, please remind me, have you left Warrington yet?
Not yet. We were just finishing. Monarch went to get the scale mail. They were given instructions on how to put it together. And Karasef was getting something
waiting
done.
on a sword. They said it would
Yes.
be done in 12 hours.
Right, so you would be leaving in mid-afternoon waiting for this sword.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect, okay. We are going to, Sasha and Kitchen. Upon your triumphant return, also, I did adjust the number of scales you guys got. There is enough scales for Monarch to make scale mail, as well as Karasef to use a portion of them for the down payment for his bone sword. However, the 2 of you were not here last week. Is there anything that the 2 of you would like to do in Warrington before we move forward? Questions you want to ask, answers you want given. A conversation that might need to happen between one of our resident paladins and the wizard.
Yeah. That's true. I do have a bone to pick with Orion.
I don't
Orion,
have
who
any
has been-
bones.
Believe me, I'll still break them. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'll bust your balls or something. I don't know. I'm kidding. It's not the conversation title to go with. I apologize.
I don't think I have any balls in my inventory.
Your head's pretty
I'm sure we
smooth.
could find some.
I do have to find Orion, but yes, I will search out Orion.
Give me an investigation check because Orion has been sort of dodging you since you guys got back.
Oh, he's not gonna be able to do that for long.
Do
We're
I have to
literally
roll
traveling
stealth for
together.
this?
Yes,
Please
you do.
try. What am I doing? Investigation.
Yes.
This is the dice I'm bringing out right now, Otter. I'm bringing out Adira for this. So,
Oh no!
she never does me wrong. But my investigation is very low, so 19.
Orion, your stealth, dear?
19.
Okay. All right,
17 plus
I
2.
can work with this.
18 plus 1.
I love this. Every place that you check, Sasha, Orion has just been there with no indication of where he's going next. But somehow you managed to follow him location to location, missing him by a mere 10 minutes at most. And this goes on for quite a bit of the day until lunch.
I haven't found Orion. Now I'm hungry. I'm angry. You've made it worse on yourself.
Orion,
friend.
would
I've
you
just been
say-
doing my thing. I didn't know you were following me. What was that, Meg?
Orion,
Yes.
would you say that you would have a particular interest of checking out the local temple of Athena, who is the goddess of justice?
Probably not. I don't see myself having a super curious interest in a lot of the current Pantheon.
Okay.
I am very invested in the book that I had recently read that was the history and breeding of the dragonlets over time, and have just been kind of like wandering around town.
Oh my god, this is Bella and Gaston, and I'm kind of here for it.
Like, just kind of chit-chatting with Nikia, walking around town, looking at, like...
Yeah, Q,
Yeah.
give me... Oh god, let's see here. Give me a...
Can I track his dragon? What?
No, not yet.
Okay, I'll work on it.
It's more that his dragonlet is not mature enough to communicate with yours across the distance that it would be.
Oh no, I want to sniff it out.
You know what? You can try.
I'll take it. Do I still receive advantage because, or
You
have I
do.
not spent enough time? Perfect.
No, you do. Because this is going to be by smell, so you get advantage either way. The thing is that his dragonlet may wind up smelling like other dragonlets.
Yeah,
Just so you're aware.
that's
By
fine.
all means, I want you to try.
What's what do you want me to do? Investigation again?
Perception, dear.
Perception. Okay. 24. It's a 19 plus 5.
Orion, give me another stealth check.
8.
It's not so much that you managed to sniff out his dragonlet, it's the fact that you hear him talking to her.
Okay.
And follow his voice as he monologues about the book to the dragonlet.
Well, you see, dragonlets used to be much bigger a long time ago. It's crazy how far the breeding has come over the years. Look how tiny you are now. It's wild.
A good book, Orion.
It was very informative.
Good. Have you, by any means, been trying to avoid me?
I mean, I've just been wandering around town. I mean,
Oh,
at
but
the cave, albeit a little bit, you seemed a little heated. But no, today I've just been, exploring and checking out the town.
Hmm.
I had a lot of interesting things that I learned the last couple days, and I've just been mulling them over as I wandered.
Uh, your new friend? Or what did you say? Old friend? From the cave?
Oh, an old acquaintance. Yes, that was a Rawl.
Is that
They,
the old
s-
friend you spoke to from before? You were saying?
no. The one I reached out to and spoke to in, I guess, common tongue would be known as Varen. But of the two, I am familiar with both, yes. Certainly helped out with the dragon quite a bit.
It did, as it came to a surprise. I can't scold you. It's not like it's fair of me to sit there and say, don't do these types of things. Everybody has their own magic. I can be mad. I can't be mad at it. Could be mad at it. I'll try not to be mad at it. Can I
I
have
mean,
some warning next time?
can can we explore these thoughts? Why
He was a
does it
fiend,
make you mad?
a devil,
A demon, I
a
think,
demon.
is the classification these days.
You, they tend to be full of trickery, whether it's summoned by magic or not.
I mean, the same could be said for most races.
That's very true, but these can do much more damage if set off in a small amount of time.
I mean, if you're on the wrong side of them, I guess, but history shows the same could be said for a lot of the races. And if they're here to help,
I suppose I'm not one to talk, actually. So I just ask for some warning next time, if you can.
why are you not one to talk? That's what we're doing right now.
That's true, but I'm sure getting back to your book would be fine.
I mean, if it would make you feel better, Varen did offer that they would be open to having like a tea.
Hmm?
Sure. Just because they're a demon doesn't mean they can't enjoy a good cup of tea.
Oh, I see. I understand now. I get what you mean. Um,
They are quite
sure.
interesting. I mean, they would, I could bring them forth with understanding from them that it would be for conversational purposes. As long as I would have word from you guys that it wouldn't turn into a confrontation, it's something I could facilitate. They're not as bad as everyone seems to make them out to me. I mean, demonize is a word these days.
That is true. I suppose I have seen a lot. I'm just going with what I know. Perhaps, yes, things do change.
I mean, no one batted an eye when Alita knew of me. And
Alita.
from what I understand nowadays, most of the races consider a sphinx a monstrosity.
I don't think I've met Alita, Sasha.
You have not.
So I have.
I thought Sasha
Oh,
did
no, you
meet
have.
Alita.
Remember the child that I refused
Yeah.
to let you adopt and become Geralt with?
Oh,
Mhm.
I didn't want it.
No, but the child was delivered by
Oh,
the Sphinx.
right. So briefly.
Yeah. I
Yes.
helped you with some riddles so that you would be left with the care of the child while we searched for their parents.
Oh, yes. Honestly, I suppose that was just me being new to the party, and you all seem to know of her already, so why would I question that?
Yeah.
I'll leave you to your reading, Orion. Whenever your tea is set and planned, I would be curious to sit alongside.
Sure. At least two of my older acquaintances I could probably call forth for idle conversation. From what I understand, the lineage has moved on with two of the other families, and I'd have to um, restart acquaintances with those families, but they should know of me still.
Okay. Sure. All right. I will leave you. All right. Enjoy your book.
But one, thank you for not being too mad. You seemed very
Oh, if I
you
was
were
mad during the fight, that was because the dragon burrowed and then it went over there, and it just, I only guys with this armor. Sometimes mobility is low, and it's just don't always enjoy running in it.
And secondly, if you ever want to talk about what you said, I'm happy to listen.
What I said.
Yes, you're not one to talk.
Hmm.
Is
Perhaps another
there
time.
something? Okay, I won't push you on it.
Mhm. Another time. I'm sure you would enjoy the story as is. So
I will
perhaps
make a
you
note
could
of
look
it
forward to
now
it
that we can reconvene on this later.
when we reconvene. Well, that's a good question. All right, I'm leaving for real now. Goodbye, or you can enjoy your book.
Thank you.
Don't talk her ear off. She might fall asleep.
I mean, she's got a lovely little hoard to sleep on, or he's quite happy with it.
Whoops, sorry. Whoops. My bad. Misgendered your dragonlet. My bad.
So he?
He.
Yes,
He,
his is
okay.
a he.
I had heard she earlier, so I just
Yeah,
went with
and
it.
I did say
apologize.
she earlier. That was wrong. I was wrong.
Okay, perfect. All right. Figured it out. We're winning. Bow, 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 bow. And after that, I will head off. Where? I don't know. But if somebody needs me to help carry something heavy, I'm on it.
Ryan started asking questions back. I'm going to leave now.
Yeah, sorry, I think I hear my brother calling.
He's an entire town away. That's interesting.
Good ears. I can't even say twin empathy.
No, you're good.
Siblings, you know. Instant panic. Gotta go.
Sorry, I just saw a news article that I'm very interested in. Especially if they do the thing that I'm hoping they're gonna do. Lego Ideas partners with Dungeons and Dragons, celebrating 50 years of D&D.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. It looked cool.
I would
Wants to
pay.
bet we're getting a dragon.
I would pay stupid amounts of money if they made Castle Ravenloft.
I can see them doing like a dragon. I don't know about Ravenloft.
It
Do you
probably
have
depends
any
how
idea how
popular
many people
this
would
set's gonna be.
pay to buy Castle Ravenloft as a Lego set? Especially if you can put minis in it and use it as a combat map?
They wouldn't do all of Castle Ravenloft. They'd do like some little section of it.
I don't know, man.
They'd probably
They
do
did
like
the
the equivalent
entire
to the
castle for
Hogwarts
Harry
thing.
Potter.
Yeah.
That's true, but I don't know. I don't think they would do the entire thing. Quote me. Clip me.
We'll find out.
You know what? We're gonna
Becca,
find out.
get him.
Oh, man.
We do got a fella for that.
Yep. Although taking a look at the 3 sets that they've currently got up, it's they're pretty generic ones, which is disappointing. Oh well. Moving on. They have had their talk. Cody,
I did have an idea.
what is it?
Well, how much did you? How many scales and everything do we have left? I wrote them down the last game I was in, but
Yes.
things have
How many
changed.
did you write down?
So initially you gave us 100 pounds of dragon meat, 120 white dragon scales, 4 white dragon claws, and 17 white dragon teeth.
Okay, the scales. Mom, what did the scales change to? Because I know that you were taking.
Just a second, let me go back up.
I think it was 600?
500.
500.
100 pounds of meat, 500 scales, 4 claws, 17 teeth.
Perfect. And then deducting whatever everyone else has used. Kitchen wants to go and sell whatever's left of like the inedibles, like the scales, the claws, the teeth. Sell whatever's left and get what he can for it.
Okay.
And then he's going to take half that meat, all the money he's getting from these dragon bits, and go to a soup kitchen with it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Selling the hard materials. And like hard materials, I mean like anything that's not meat.
Yeah.
You are able to.
And Kitchen's going to be out front. When he's selling things, he's going to be like, well, the proceeds will be going to a soup kitchen. So
you're
maybe
targeting
cut me a
specifically
deal.
like nobles.
Yeah, I'm going door to door with a little UNICEF box kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so with specifically targeting nobles, you are able to walk away with about 130 gold pieces.
not bad.
3 platinum pieces, which is
Ooh.
equivalent to 100 gold pieces each, I think. No, 30. So it's 30 total because they're 10 each. Sorry, I was like, hang on.
I'm awful with the whole exchange rate for
Well, they're 10 each.
money
It's
in
always
this,
10
yeah.
unless it's a with the exception of electrum pieces, because electrum is 2.5 gold pieces per electrum.
Yeah, see, that's what screws me up.
That's the only one. Everyone else is 10. So it's 10 copper to a silver, 10 silver to a gold, 10 gold to a platinum.
Okay, well, definitely going to be heading to the nearest soup kitchen with all of this. I'm not telling a soul what I've done with all this money, by the way.
Okay.
I don't think the rest would be keen on.
I
Well,
don't
they
know
probably
about
wouldn't mind
that.
that bad, but yeah, you know,
Everybody in this party is generally pretty good.
yeah, but I'm sure there's some stuff people would like, fancy boots and all that. But yeah, let's donate it all.
All right.
Yeah.
You bring the meat. Are you going to spend the time cooking it because you have the time anyway?
I mean, if I've got the time, kitchen would never pass that up. Come on now, especially dragon meat. It's not, it's
Well,
not something
yeah,
he does all
because
the
you've
time.
got until mid-afternoon when the sword will be finished for Karasov.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Well then,
you have
yes.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kitchen will hang out, help with the soup kitchen, do what he can.
Yeah.
But
So the other
yeah.
part of it is that you teach those that are working there how to properly preserve this dragon meat.
Yep.
So that it doesn't go to waste, because 100 pounds of dragon meat is a lot of frickin' meat. Especially
Yeah.
when Fred shows up to assist with a little druid craft.
Well, actually, if Fred's gonna show up, hello, Fred. I'm just donating the meat you didn't seem keen on.
Hey, that's a great thing to help someone else, kitchen.
Well, I mean, in the first place, you just don't leave perfectly good meat to waste. I know you were kind of disturbed by the whole butchering back in the cave.
A little bit, yeah, but he did want to eat me though.
Yeah, but I could tell, like, you were greener than usual.
Oh, you're cute.
So I thought maybe this would be a good use for the meat.
Well, I would love to help you.
Well, I would love the help.
So what Fred does with druidcraft, because that's something she gets for free as a Tandrak. Did I give that to Tandrax? Oh god, I feel like I did.
They have it
Yes.
now.
Yes. I have it,
Yeah.
Maddie.
Okay. They show you potted vegetables that are in the process of growing, and you use druidcraft to speed it up. So that there is it's not an overabundance. It's still taking the nutrients out of the soil and like the whole 9 yards, right? Because it's, you can't do away with that even with druidcraft.
Mhm.
And you assist in being able to supply food for the town and help them make it so that until they can get back out to their fields, that
Fred, I think we could feed an entire village. No
Well,
sweat.
no, not at all. I know they're going to need the help here after what they've had to go through fighting off that dragon.
We should make a recipe sometime.
I'm sure my father would be very pleased that we're helping his town.
I think so too. And so yeah, Kitchen's just gonna spend his spare time helping
yeah.
out. Yeah.
I need you both to give me performance rolls, please. At advantage.
I have not performed so well.
It's okay. You know what you're doing. And you're spending more of your time cooking and supervising, or not cooking, explaining and teaching and supervising than you are cooking. Meanwhile,
I'll take it.
Fred is able to really bring it up, and she teaches some who maybe didn't know about druidcraft. Like, she finds a couple other Tandrak that are there, and then teach them, like, yes, you can do this. And it's just, you know, overall, you have helped this town sort of work to replenish. All right,
Well, that's my
mid-af-
good deed.
Yes,
I
fantastic.
I've give myself the pass to be an ass at least once more time before I have to do something nice again.
Love that.
You as well, Fred.
Puts one token in Fred's swear jar.
That's a freebie.
Okay. I lost my fucking train of thought.
Sorry.
Mid-afternoon rolls around. Karasef collects his sword, and we'll just kind of like hop back next week to do that with him. But he collects his sword, and you guys head out of town. Once again, either on your cart or on your horses. And, yeah. It's a relatively quiet journey. Sorry, Otter, you were saying something?
I was just gonna say, on the way to Bleakburn we go.
Yes.
But now that I have a second, what does Mondrick's new arm look?
Monric hasn't finished making it.
He got all the parts to make it on the trip.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm just starting.
Yeah, scale mail is extremely
Time consuming.
time-consuming to make.
I'd
But-
like to help if I could.
You have weeks of time between places to, and I don't think Monric rides a horse. I think he's in the back of the cart.
If not, he will be now.
And if not, he will be
Well-
now.
I guess to reword the question, what kind of design is Monric stylizing their new armor that they want to craft? Because they gave you a blueprint instructions kind of to follow, right?
They did.
So,
And
just kind of curious what Monric is thinking for putting this together.
just kind of a set of standard scale mail out of dragon scales. You know, honor to the white dragon.
I look forward to seeing it as you progress.
I look forward to seeing it too. First time I've tried to make scale mail.
Go ahead and give me a performance check to start off, Monric.
Would I know anything about scale mail or
No.
ring crafting?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. This one I'm gonna say no. You start and it's difficult. You're having a really hard time getting it going. Kitchen. You're reading over the instructions. Go ahead and give me a the same, please, performance.
By the way, me reading instructions is the worst idea.
Well, it's a good thing Kitchen's doing it, not you.
No, it's about the same.
Oh, alright, fair enough.
There's
Shit.
not nearly enough pictures.
Why did they send so
You're-
many extra screws? They gotta go somewhere!
No.
You always need spare parts. Now, come on.
Oh my god. This is a disaster already.
The
I hate
Go ahead.
D&D IKEA.
The party
Monarch-
goes to IKEA.
The food court's amazing, but the goddamn instructions.
Monarch, go ahead and give me another performance check, please, dear.
Can I offer a hand
Yeah, if you would like.
as another follower of Hephaestus?
Mm-hmm.
That one was better.
That's a dirty 20 from here.
Fantastic. Between the two of you, you are able to get it started. And getting it started is the hardest part. Honest to God, getting chainmail started and getting it looking good is the hardest part. And you build chainmail from the bottom up. Like, you build it from the hip to the neck. So that the scales lay properly. And, Monarch, you start. You got a thin pair of work gloves on, the tools ready to go, and you just sit there and sort of just lose yourself in the work.
Definitely.
So, I need you to write this down because this will become relevant later. The next time you roll for performance on making this scale mail, you will get a +4.
Ooh.
Okay, got it.
Fantastic. The week passes with no interruptions, which is weird. Nobody seems to stop you. Matter of fact, you don't run into anybody or anything. No animals, no creatures, no humans, no humanoids. Nothing.
Now that is definitely strange.
Kind of unheard of.
And you're,
We're on a major road. We should be seeing things, encountering others.
At least
My-
pestered by some child or something asking for help.
Well, remember, my father did say that he hasn't seen anything from here for quite a while, that they haven't come into trade, so maybe they're dead. Maybe the dragon started there instead of moved up.
We could start a town.
Just a whole town.
Can't be that hard.
I don't think we have time to start a town, Orion.
Later, Orion. You and
Put
me.
it on the bucket list.
Jot it
Needs a
down.
keep. We want a town.
Start saving your gold.
okay. As you approach, you seem to encounter this rather, I don't want to say ominous, because it's not really ominous, but it doesn't seem to fit. It seems to be white. Like morning fog, except it's the middle of the afternoon and any sort of fog should have burnt off by now. And, alright, hang on, I want to make sure I'm reading this right.
Is it like a haze or is it almost like a...
No, like, have you ever been out first thing in the morning, Cody, when it's been warm and then it got cold and everything is just like Silent Hill shrouded in fog?
Yeah, that's my favorite weather.
Yeah, that's what this is, except it's the middle of the fucking afternoon.
Okay, so it's not like we're just walking into a wall of fog. It's just been gradually growing.
Yeah.
Or grown. thicker,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And again, I feel the need to reiterate, you are not going to Barovia. Barovia does not exist in tangential to this world.
I was like, no, Barovia is coming to us.
No, it's not.
No.
Okay. As you approach, I need a perception check from everybody, please.
Roll that out.
Why am I rolling like trash today? Jeez.
15.
Not
Right
yet.
there with you, Kitchen. That's a
Getting a new computer.
7 as well. 5 plus 2.
Did anybody roll above a 15?
I did.
God.
Just Fred. Fred, you
Hmm?
see in the mists figures that seem to move around.
I will tell everybody and point them out. Guys, you may want to be aware. I'm seeing figures or something in that mist. We better be prepared just in case they're not friendly.
Okay. As you... Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Now that Fred has pointed it out, with my weird ability to see invisible creatures, objects, and into the ethereal plane, do I notice anything staring into the fog?
Okay, repeat that.
Sure. The robe of eyes lets me see invisible creatures and objects, as well as into the ethereal plane, out to a range of 120 feet.
No.
Now that Fred has pointed out that they're seeing things in the fog, does that ping anything for me?
It does not.
Okay.
Because whatever this is does not exist on the ethereal plane. And it's not invisible. And your robe of eyes does not help you see through thick mist.
No worries. I wasn't even concerned with the mist. I was just seeing if anything else was hiding in there.
Yep, no worries. I'm letting you know that's where it's at.
Yeah, well, I can see in all directions, and all of it is shit.
Mist! See in all directions and all of it's mist.
Monarch, you may want to get ready.
I
I
will
don't
go
like
ahead and
this.
pull out my hammer and
Okay.
Get
As
on
you
with it.
slowly progress,
I will preemptively throw up mage armor just to get that out of the way.
as you come into town, each house that you encounter is the same. They look identical to each other.
how does anybody find their place?
Well, you notice that they seem to be numbered.
We still in the mist?
Yes.
So the mist is also in the town.
Oh yeah, no, this mist started coming in a day outside of town, and it is even heavy in town. Peeking inside of one of the houses, it is very clearly abandoned. There is a thick layer of dust across every surface in this house. And looking in, you see that you are looking into a living room. There is a there's a doorway that is open that shows a set of stairs leading up. However, this looks like the front door. Like, the doorway that is open seems to be the front door. And let's see.
Does it look like
Sasha.
they left quickly?
No. But there is definitely personal effects, but it looks like it's personal effects that just didn't matter. Sasha.
Yes.
Sorry, I was like, is he still here? Did he disappear on me?
Mhm.
As you're walking through the town, your foot encounters a heap of metal, and there is a loud, echoing clang as your armored foot hits the scrap of metal. Looking down, it seems to be a ruined set of armor. As well, you see particular sets of grooves worn into the street.
I'll bend down and kind of just like slowly move my hands over the marks. What do they look like?
The marks on the armor look like ruined runes. Quite a lot like what decorates the inside of your armor. However, whatever spell that this seems to encapsulate and whatever it was going to do for this armor, they're not familiar to you.
Okay. Orion,
Mm-hmm.
you have a memory for runes or a knack for sketching, don't you?
Yes.
Come check these out. Might be of some interest. Perhaps.
And I go.
Do any of these look familiar to you?
Do any of these look familiar to Orion?
Give me a history check.
I was gonna say, like none of the rooms are familiar, or is it that I don't know what magic would hold?
Yet the runes are not familiar to you because
Perfect.
your runes are protection. These are something else.
Oh, okay.
History or Arcana for this?
Give me Arcana if you're proficient in it. I know that you're proficient
Sure.
in history, so that's why I was like, I just couldn't remember if you were an Arcana or not.
I have both. I just figured I'd check. Oh, that's a 16 plus 8, so 24.
Okay. You recognize these? You've only ever seen them once before.
Was it in a book?
No.
No?
No. You saw them once. In your infancy. In the way that you are a sentient magical construct, the runes on the inside of this armor piece bound it to a particular person and made it sentient to a degree. You have found a piece of ruin animated armor.
Oh, wow.
Sasha, perception check, please.
What check? Sorry?
Perception, please.
Oh God.
Sorry, Otter. Go ahead.
Oh boy. I haven't seen. Is that a 5?
23. 23.
Okay,
23?
18 plus
thank you.
5.
Okay.
I'm gonna let Orion do his thing, and then I got a different thing for you.
I haven't seen runes like these in years. At least what I can glean from looking at them They are meant for a form of animation. Almost to give this armor means to move and act of its own.
Let's see. Actually, Sasha, give me a history check. Sasha and Fred, please, both of you give me history checks. Sasha, with your perception check, you hear the shifting of metal as something in this town is roaming around.
Huh. Dirty 20.
You also distinctly remember, and I'm saying this because you've traveled a lot, this town, Bleakburn, this is kind of coming to you now and things are sort of being put together.
A missing puzzle piece.
This town was well known for being completely nightless. There was never a night lieutenant or garrison posted in this town. Ever. Sorry, in your lifetime. Not ever. In your lifetime.
Okay.
They used to think that it was a host of knights. However, it never seemed to make sense that it was, because there was never any knight lieutenants, but it always seemed to be a full garrison of armored people. But it never made sense that it was, kind of like more than that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Nightless, but not without nights.
Yes.
I'm going to make a shushing movement towards Fred and Orion.
Okay.
And I want to follow the noise that I heard. And I'm being very careful of my surroundings.
Okay.
Basically, if I can get to the edge of a building, like if I'm at the edge of a building, I want to do that peer around the corner to see if I see anything.
Yeah, of course. You don't. But good thought.
Okay.
I'm not even
I'm
gonna make
going
you roll
to
for that, because I can tell you that you're not gonna see it.
Quietly continue sketching the runes I see on this armor in the book.
I'm just basically I want to stay on alert to if I hear anything.
On alert if you hear anything. Okay. You don't seem to hear anything.
Oh, okay.
The movement seems to have ceased.
Okay.
However, you're pretty sure you should probably get the fuck out of here.
And I will go back and I will inform the party of that. That's maybe the mentality we should have and go.
I agree. I don't like this place.
Okay. As you continue on through the town, before we keep going, the DM needs to use the bathroom and grab another drink. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and we'll be back at 35 after the hour. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. All right. They are venturing further into Bleakburn. Sorry, hang on. My eye is itchy. So
Should we
sorry.
just
Okay.
call out? See if anyone's here?
Sasha seems to be giving you the cue of do fucking not. But me, as the DM, encourage you to do what feels right.
My brain just hears the, like, Mrs. Doubtfire, hello!
With thaumaturgy magnifying the whole thing?
Yep.
Oh, see, here I was going to, my thought was the hello rock from Dark Souls.
It did kind of sound like that regardless. But no, I'm not blind to Sasha's gesturing. The kitchen will remain quiet.
Okay.
The armor that was on the ground, is it like big pieces of armor or smaller? Or a mixture?
They seem to be enough that it would fit a medium-sized creature.
Would I be
It
able
was a full set.
to commandeer a small piece of the armor with the runes on the inside to, like, look into further at a later time?
No.
No? Okay.
No. I had to think about that. No.
Then I will do my best to sketch what I can before we move on. And I will follow Sasha's lead. Are we trying to move quietly through town then? Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky.
I'm muted. Turn it around. Sneak our way out.
Should we at least try and get to the center of town?
I don't. No.
We've got to figure out what's here. If army's coming through after us.
You think if we left a sign that says "Go around," that'd be okay?
The terrain
If we're-
around the town isn't passable. They have to go through the town, which is why you guys have had to go through each town to get permission for the army to come after you, because otherwise you are desecrating farmland that people who aren't involved in this conflict need to live.
But around
In
this
this-
town, is
this
there
particular-
farmland?
No.
What if there's no one here?
This is
There's no one to
okay.
feed.
The wilderness has reclaimed the area around this town. It is not passable for a large army with the siege equipment that they are bringing.
Fred, would you be upset if we took down some trees? I'm kidding. I would not say that. I would not.
Spend the
Sorry, I'll
next
take it back.
week as
I'm
lumberjacks, just
gonna help with
clearing
the
a path.
ancients. Why would I cut down trees? I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I'm kidding.
Oh my god, I
Today
love
is
that.
We
the
don't
day
have the
Sasha
time to
goes-
do that.
Sasha goes Oathbreaker just to not deal with this town.
Good town. Oh, this place. We can go through it, but everybody's well rested, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would hope so.
Alrighty then.
Fantastic. I realized I wrote something more for I thought I had written more for this town, and then realized the thing that I wrote for this town was not actually the write-out of the shit that I needed to fucking give to you guys here. Completely different write-out. Alright. Oh, let's see. You
So-
venture towards the center of town. Sorry, go ahead, Otter.
I was gonna say the same thing you did. You're good.
Fantastic. Venturing towards the center of town. You guys find an open square. Now, here, it seems that the mist isn't quite as thick. As if something is barely keeping it at bay, but it is starting to creep in. This is the first time that you have seen any sort of being outside of the the shapes moving in the mists. And really, this is the first being you've encountered in almost a week, besides yourselves. There is a rocking chair outside of what looks like it used to be the tavern, or perhaps it was a meeting hall. The figure is old, grizzled, and translucent. And I need a religion check
fuck.
from the paladin and the cleric.
I fist bump kitchen.
Well, that's
Pretty good. What's my religion? You wait. I don't even know if I took religion. Is this
I
gonna be
definitely
like
didn't
my?
either. Kitchen
Is
doesn't
this
give two shits
habit at
about
this
religion.
point? Did I take religion? Hold on.
I don't know, did you?
Come on. You
Is this
actually
gonna be-
play a
Is this
paladin. I'm
gonna
a
be
chef.
the second time that you play a class rooted in religion and don't take religion? Is it?
'Cause I don't need it all the time. Why would I take religion if I don't need it all the time? We barely use it. Why would I use it? I don't
Why did I
need
bring
it.
my sword? I'm not using it right now.
Yeah, like I.
It's
How
when you
often
need it.
How often do I roll for religion? Even as Indira, who
You
is
roll for religion a lot as Adira.
And
probably
you
have
know, it
religion.
worked out pretty good for Adira most of the time.
Yeah.
Does Sasha, as a paladin, have religion?
No. Absolutely fucking not. I don't need it. Listen, I
Why
I
travel.
roll instead.
Damn.
Twice in a row.
I don't. Yeah. See. You know what? I don't even have. It's fine. I rolled an 18.
No, because this is class specific.
I rolled an 18.
Okay. Sasha, you and I'm sorry, I'm just mostly doing this because it was fun to just fucking bust your balls about the fact that you didn't take religion again.
I don't need it.
But
They're based in
Kitchen,
wisdom. If I needed religion, why would religion be an intelligence then?
Is it worth
Why-
saying the wizard is proficient in religion?
Why?
Wizard and the sorcerer are both proficient in religion.
Well, they need
And
it.
the two classes based in it don't even have it.
I'm based
got
in
this.
food.
Yeah, and I travel a lot.
I've never pretended to be a
My
cleric in my
religion
life.
is food, and the other religion is trees.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nature.
I love it. I love it. No, I love it. It's great. Okay, so sorry, with the 12 and the 18, you both recognize this as a being that cannot pass into the afterlife because something of theirs has been left undone.
All right, boys. This is the first
I
ghost
also
assistance as
feel-
a Scooby Gang.
I feel like this should also be pointed out that if this was a game, this man would have a quest marker hovering over his head.
I was just about to say, can we try and communicate with this ghostly figure?
Yes.
Hello?
It's been almost 3 decades since anybody has come through here. What brings you to Bleakburn?
Well, actually, we were just passing through. But, things look a little dire around here.
That is one word for it.
Any hints?
Do you have time for a story?
Orion, story time.
And you watch as he sort of creakily gets to his feet, as if he was old when he died. and he phases his way into the building. There is a door. You are able to follow him. It's not locked.
Do you think we have to knock?
He's leading us to
I'll-
the door. We may
Yeah,
have-
I'll just open the door.
Yeah, thank you.
You open the door into what seems to be a meeting hall. The benches look a little bit worse for wear, and everything is covered in a very thick layer of dust. He has moved to the sort of where a stage would have been, but it looks like it's been collapsed since. And he settles himself in a high winged back chair. You are able to find spots that are easy to sit and that would hold your weight even in armor, or in the two Warforged case, your sheer amount of weight, considering the fact that Warforged weigh like 300 pounds.
Orion,
wanna-
before we sit,
Yeah.
I was just going to say, could you clean my chair with your magic?
Oh, I was planning on doing that for everyone.
You're wonderful.
I would like to clear the dust and such off of seats for the party.
You do so.
Prestidigitation. I'm not gonna
Thank
sit
you.
in that chair, as filthy as it was. Clean.
My name is Chris Manchester. And until about 50 years ago, I was the mayor of the town. 50 years ago seems like a blink of an eye, when all you have is your regrets. And he sort of seems to just kind of like dissociate, thinking about it, before he brings himself back. We had fallen on hard times. There was a drought, and violent storms kept the sailors from being able to reach our town. Things were dire, and we had a woman proclaiming to be a disciple of Demeter arrive. And she said that she could help us. And I foolishly let her into our town. And for months, it seemed that everything was fine. The town was not necessarily prospering, but nobody was starving. Everybody had work to do. But then everything turned to ash. Everything. Our factories stopped being able to produce what they were producing. Machinery was breaking down without us being able to fix it. Crops died. Fields looked like they had been burned and salted. And my town fell to ruin and famine. It is my fault that I let this woman in. I shouldn't have done it. I should have continued to petition to the king. The king. It seems strange. Hold on. I got a name I gotta find. Please hold. Because this is not gonna match what you guys know. Got notes everywhere. King Rivers. He never would have forsaken us. He would have sent his most trusted out to help us. We would have seen, well, we would have had help from his knights and his advisors. But every petition I sent to him was met with silence. And it shouldn't have been. He was a good king. Sasha, how old are you?
I'm 400.
Give me a history check.
13.
You vaguely remember about half a century ago was when Anderson took over and disposed of King Rivers.
Okay.
Well, as far as you know, disposed of King Rivers. That's the official story. There are those who believe that that's not the case.
Okay. I would probably just let everyone know that's kind of just something I remember hearing about. Well, actually, no. I remember this happening before in the past.
Father mentioned something about this. And we should be careful if we find him in Silversummit, that we could have issues. I'm sorry to tell you, sir, but King Rivers isn't the king anymore. It's now King Anderson. That could have been why you were never answered.
It's possible. Doesn't bring much comfort to an old ghost, though.
What did this woman
No, go ahead.
do while she was here?
At first, she made sure that our fields were plentiful. However, as it proceeded, it soon became apparent that she was doing more harm than good. She was laying runes in the field. And when the last of my people left and I was dying, she revealed herself, not as the human she pretended to be, but as a demon incarnate. Hold on. She had procured a set of my armor, had red, feather-filled wings. By the time she revealed herself, I was too weak to stop her. Oh, Cody. Remind me, I got a thing for you after. Remind me.
You doke.
I believe that she is still here. She has taken this town for her own, and wearing one of my armors, she is able to control the defenses of this town. Should you encounter any roving suits of armor, they are not to be trusted.
We found a damaged piece of armor.
I did
Perhaps
try.
it was weakening.
No, I did try to fight her. She fought through quite a few of my armors to get to me. And she handled them like they were nothing. Down the street, east from here, you will find what we called the Knights Barracks. It was the housing area for armor that needed to be repaired, or was quote unquote off duty. It is the old Knights Barracks before I took over, hundreds of years ago. It is now that you're realizing that this man is a Goliath. Old, heavily bearded Goliath.
Well, perhaps there's something we can do to help you. And save the town.
Should you defeat her, my final will be completed, and the armor will fall to, not dust, but they will be inert, unable to be used because my soul, which is what is keeping them here, and active, will go to Hades for judgment.
Did this woman have a name?
No, not that she gave me.
So, red feathered wings. Any other descriptors you could give us of their appearance?
She was pale. The helmet had horns, but I'm not sure if she did.
Okay.
Are you aware where she might be located?
No. No, sorry. She will probably be in the Knights Barracks.
Well, I think a trip to the barracks is on order then.
It would seem so.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep an eye on our time because I don't want to get you guys into combat and then have to end session partway through combat. Personally, hate doing that. Okay.
Look over to Sasha. Sometimes they can be evil, but not always.
Hey, Otter,
Yes.
go ahead and give me a history check, please, dear.
A history check.
Yes, sir.
14 plus 8, so 22.
Well, the description seemed fairly generic. You're thinking that it might be a particular devil called an Erinyes.
Can you spell that?
Erinyes.
But if you ask me, this being seems more akin to devil than demon. At least by the description we've received.
Perhaps.
It reminds
admit.
me of, I think, what was called an Erinyes. I saw them in a book.
I apologize. This is a super serious moment, and Cody's just fucking
Not even intentionally. I'm not even trying to be
just
funny.
calling me out in chat. I will admit it's been a good many years since I have seen her. Perhaps my original description was not accurate.
I mean, demons and devils do get mixed up quite frequently from what I understand. It's not uncommon. They are very similar in a lot of ways.
You are welcome to stay in any of the houses if you wish to rest before taking her on.
Are there any more like you wandering the town?
No, I am the last.
Then we need to assume that everything we come across is
Trying to kill
bad.
you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that makes it a little easier. We know who's the bad guys.
If they're trying to kill you, they're bad.
That could lead you down a very interesting road.
Well, we are all fully. Should we head there now? I think
I'm ready when you are.
Chris would like to probably have some rest eventually soon.
I mean, theoretically, if it is an Aaron, yes. It is still of the Hells. I could possibly reach out and see if information could be gleaned before we walk into combat with whatever this is.
I think as much information would be helpful.
Now, we can, I guess, if I am to reach out, we can go about this two ways.
Oh.
I could, for everyone's sake, remove myself a bit of distance and reach back out for conversation. Or if the party feels that they can trust in me and will not cause troubles for an old acquaintance if they make themselves present.
They were pretty helpful last time.
I'm good.
I'd love to watch.
Kitchen, would you like to make some tea for a demon?
Well, that sounds. Yes, yes, I would. That would be the most fun. What do they like?
Can I recall what kind of tea what's his face Varen enjoys?
Yes, by all means.
I'm just gonna. That's a lot on history. Cool. They're a big fan of earthy teas. Like I think it used to be called an oolong.
Oolong tea. I think I can do that. And Kitchen's just gonna start getting to work. Meton's heating up the pot.
You guys are level 8, right?
Yeah.
We are level 8.
Fantastic.
So this will take up one of my higher magical abilities for the day if we do so. It would probably be advantageous if this is the direction we're going to go for the day, use this to kind of gather information and then try and tackle in the morning.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yes.
All fresh-faced and ready to murder.
Yeah. Okay. All right, with that in mind, you guys leave the meeting area and head towards a random house. Sasha. Give me a D100 roll, please, dear.
Here.
Okay. The one that you find is, or the one that you wind up choosing, the one that feels like it's in the best condition, is actually one that seemed to house a larger family. As you're sort of peeking in, as you're trying to find a good spot for your group to hunker down, you pass by a very specific thing, which is a statue of a pair of warriors. I got a thing for that. We will come back to that. But each house that you've peeked in seems to be laid out the same. They seem to be little more than 1-bedroom apartments. And a lot of these 2-3-story buildings seem to be walk-up apartments. And they are pretty cookie cutter. Almost as if this was like a boom town. You know, where all of the houses were built relatively the same. Because it was the fastest way to do it. And if everything was the same, you couldn't really screw it up. There isn't a lot of variation. I mean, some of them have more bedrooms or maybe a dining area as well as the living area. But for the most part, it's a kitchen, a living area, and a bedroom. And a bathroom. But you find one that seemed to be the house belonging to like a family that had 5 kids. So it takes up the entire first floor, and they seem to have both units plus a little bit more. So Once you're settled in, Fred, you have a book of heroes. Do you not?
Yes. Yes.
In that book of heroes is the tale of two warriors that match the statue that you passed on your way to this house. Bleakburn is the home place of the warriors Jace and Ashoka.
Spell that in chat.
Yep, I knew that was coming. And Fred, as you're finding this story, you read out. A pair of warriors, Jace and Ashoka, fought in defense of not only their village from a previous war, but also in defense of each other. For days they fought with each other, always next to one another, sharing only one spear between the two of them. Finally, the fight drew to an end, and they were victorious. However, a dire wound given to Ashoka drew life from their frame, Thanatos coming to collect his soul. Jace, already weak from days of fighting, tried to fight Thanatos off. Instead, he is felled by the god of death, and both taken to Hades for judgment. Jace was returned as it was not his time, and Ashoka was guided to his afterlife. Desperate for his soulmate and lover, Jace spent the next 50 years trying to fall in combat, only finding solace in the field of battle. When his time finally came, Ashoka met Jace with Thanatos, greeting him once more, the pair once again together, a romance to span across the ages. There is a little annotation at the bottom of this story that states, though this is the story told, Jace and Ashoka's bodies were never recovered, and occasionally seen on the battlefield anytime wars and combat erupt across Tiamat. Tiamat is the country north of both Pycity and Farah. But Bleakburn was their village.
Fred will read that story to everybody as we're cleaning and setting up the apartment. I knew those two looked familiar. I remember reading this in the book.
For the record, that'll be relevant later. A tour of this particular apartment building shows that, there isn't much to tell you who was here before. And okay, Otter, you said that you were brewing a tea to summon a demon, yes?
I'm having tea made to give to a demon.
Okay. Are you going to invite others of your party to sit in with this tea with this demon?
Yes, that was the conversation we had.
No, I mean more than just Sasha.
I thought I had invited everybody if they
Okay,
had
no,
agreed.
if you
No,
did,
you're
I
good.
couldn't remember as the DM. Like, I could not remember if you were inviting the whole party to tea with a demon.
Yep. I phrased it in the if you trust me and won't cause any trouble for them, you're welcome to join. But if they're going to come here peacefully to have a discussion, I'd rather not make a fuss.
Sounds fair to me.
I have no personal issues with demons. They were just another customer.
Fred?
Oh, no problem. As I said, I trust you.
And Sasha?
You already know my opinion. I just wanted to be here for the next one.
This is me giving you warning.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to cast a spell that will call upon an acquaintance. You may address them as Varen. And I will begin casting Summon Greater Demon, but I will call them by their true name in the language they've given me
Okay.
to inform them that this is a cordial visit and not a combative one.
Okay. Right, this was the owl-like one, right?
Correct.
Okay. It takes a little bit for the demon to respond, but when it does, it perches itself in an unused chair as if this was an everyday occurrence.
And for the folks in the party here, this is Varen.
Which is not his true name.
Which is the name that I have introduced them as.
Yeah. Varen holds the teacup that would be handed to him very strangely. He has his claws along the bottom, like his talons along the bottom of the teacup, and then also hooked in the handle, and uses both hands to sip from it, and it's more of just tilting his head to the side and back and pouring it in because a beak is not useful for drinking out of a cup. But he sits there and wonders why you have summoned him.
Welcome back, friend.
No, we're not doing the voice tonight.
That's okay.
Nope.
You said
not doing it
that
tonight.
you would be open to sit and chat about the old times. And
Yes.
upon conferring with my party, these are the folks I have been traveling with. They said they would like to meet you because, as old acquaintances, they're trusting we all don't mean each other harm.
I made tea.
He graciously takes the tea from you before doing that thing that I said he would do when he was drinking tea.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird and a little bit unsettling, but, you know.
Ah.
He's got to drink it somehow.
Yep. But it would seem that we have stumbled across a interesting set of events here. And I was hoping maybe you would be able to provide some information before we start reminiscing.
What information could I give you?
Are you familiar with what an Aaron Yes is?
Yes.
I only know of them by name and vague description, but I believe one may be plaguing this town, and
Mm.
we may have to deal with it.
Deal with it how?
Remove its influence from here.
Hmm.
It would seem it has sundered the village, if you will, and is possibly controlling animated armor. I think that's what the ghosty fella said.
Hmm. Hmm.
But where are my manners? Everyone, this is Varen.
Hello, Varen.
If you'd like to introduce yourselves, this is a very old acquaintance of mine.
My name is. Oh, Fred, if you like.
Sorry, Kitchen. Welcome, Varen. I am Fred.
Oh, my name is Kitchen. I also made crackers, if you'd prefer, with the tea.
Hmm.
I'm Monric. Nice to meet you.
Sasha.
He sort of just inclines his head at every introduction, and um hmm it is nice to meet you all. It is hmm you ask about the Aranis.
Yes, if any information you have that you're willing to offer would be appreciated.
Hmm.
I only know of them, like I said, by name and description.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a picture in a book once and it seemed to match the description.
They are dangerous. And dangerous in a way that can be deadly. Should you find yourself at the other end of their ire, you may find yourself one of their favored, I guess, strategies. is to bind someone to them. Sap them for everything they have before leaving them to their death.
Sounds awful.
Is there any way to avoid it?
Don't get close. Although I have a feeling for some of you that may be difficult. And he is looking kind of pointedly at Monarch. Like, not rudely, but, you know, this is clearly a, you know,
melee problem.
Who doesn't
yeah,
magic?
exactly.
I fight from the front, that's true.
It was not meant as an insult.
So how do I attack one of these demons then? Devils.
Hope that you're stronger than what they're going to use to tie you up.
What would be their weaknesses?
That I can't tell you. Each one is different. Sometimes you just have to go in and figure it out as you go.
Now, Mr. Varon, when you say tie you up, is it physically or is it like you're entranced?
Yes.
Yes to?
Yes.
All right, we'll bring scissors.
Practical solutions.
Scissors and a safe word. Let's go.
That's it.
Does anyone else have questions? Well, we have time.
Where are you from, Varon?
The 7th layer of hell.
Well, sure, but like, is there a town there? What's it like?
Hot. Also, hang on, I actually don't know. I can't remember what the 7th layer of hell is.
Well, do you have any other advice on fighting this type of devil?
No, I don't.
Depends which circles of hell we're talking about. If we're talking like Dante's Inferno, that would be violence. I'm not sure on D&D off the top of my head though.
And yeah, that's why I was like, hang on, I'm going to get the 7th circle. Hold on. First is Avernus, second is Dis, third is Minaros, Phlegathos is 4, Stygia is 5, Malbog is 6. Maladomini is the 7th circle of hell, which is described as having vapor-polluted skies, but the surface is solid. Post-spell plague view described Meladomini as a colossal maze of passages, each several miles across, that eventually led to Cania, Malbog, and Nessus. All three models agreed that the seventh hell was filled with ruins of old cities, stagnant rivers, exhausted and abandoned quarries and strip mines, stone aqueducts and lava canals, decaying fortresses, swarms of biting flies, and black pools of ichor that erupted from the ground. The Lord of the Seventh was never satisfied with the construction of his capital and repeatedly built and abandoned city after city. The largest and most beautiful was Malagard, a sprawling metropolis palace fortress archaeology with a myriad of black towers linked by a tangled web of bridges and walkways. Malagard was rumored to contain 1 million rooms and to cap an equally complex dungeon labyrinth.
Would you mind if you visited us when we need it?
I wouldn't take you down there.
Thank you.
Unless you deserved it.
I made tea is all.
When you say that they could find someone, do they turn them to that they could fight us? Or are they just leeching their energy from them?
It depends on the errand use. Each one is different.
But
Each
that's a
one
possi-
has. It is
But that's a possibility?
Yes.
Thank you.
I have one last question.
I may have one last answer.
How do you know Orion?
He's gonna look to Orion.
Kitchen's gonna look at Orion.
How about you answer this? Because I feel like your answer might be more savory than mine.
Follow-up question. Any funny stories about Orion?
Not that I wouldn't share without his permission. Else I wouldn't be allowed to have tea and visit the mortal realm.
Fair.
Well, between Varen, Aral, and may they have found good rest in their time, Rolgash and Golgan, met a long time ago in my travels of this world. You could say I've known them longer than Alita. Although I did look very different back then. But still, it was me. I'm sure they could tell you some interesting stories of me bumbling my way through the world. I mean, there was a time I almost had to spend some time in, I guess, what you would call now as jail due to another acquaintance.
Kitchen's pouring himself another cup of tea. He's not drinking it,
Yeah.
but he's ready.
Because of my familiarity with one known as Rodry. In their time, they were considered a A heretic for trying to further some of the teachings and beliefs in the Titans. And my familiarity with them almost got me in some trouble sometime. But a couple times, actually.
Okay. Is there any other questions for the demon before you?
If party doesn't have any further questions, I would probably switch to Primordial and just start shooting the shit with them for the remainder of the spell.
Okay.
You know, asking how their brood is, how many is it, how many have they grown to, how's the family.
Yeah,
Just
you do get all of
catching
that
up.
information,
Yeah.
by the way. Like, it's... But yes, if nobody else has any other questions, then it will turn to polite conversation between those two and, kind of calling it a night. Unless there's something that somebody wants to do before they turn in for the night.
I do have one pointed question for Varen while they're here. Once we switch over to polite conversation.
Sure.
Towards the end of the spell, what are your thoughts on those I surround myself with these days? What is your read on these folk? You always have an interesting perspective.
Your tree is too light-hearted. It will be easy to manipulate her heartstrings.
She's tougher than she looks. She stared down a dragon about a week ago.
That does not change what I say.
No.
The other, like you, seems to be very strange. I'm not sure what it is with his obsession with food when he cannot consume it himself.
They've certainly turned it into quite a passion. From what others tell me, they're fantastic at their craft.
The two heavily armored ones, they may cause you problems, especially when it comes to those such as I.
Well, I had quite a interesting conversation with the taller one. He was a bit off put with my initial calling upon Oral for aid. But after a bit of discussion on it, they seemed to at least have an open mind. They were cordial enough to be willing to have tea with us today.
Still, when they're that devout, things can go awry. Just be careful.
Always.
The human. They seem to have a single-minded focus, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Take care that it does not turn. Yeah. I was gonna say be careful and then realized that was not what I wanted. Take care not to earn that single-minded focus on yourself, or there will be things about you that you may not want them to.
Well, I already kind of stumbled across that once earlier on when I first started traveling with them. And it left him in a bit of a crisis, isn't the right word. But I feel the information I disclosed was hard to digest. So I've been trying to be careful henceforth.
Smart. Things are not always what they seem. Bear that in mind.
Draws picture of bear. Little note underneath, not what it seems.
Not like that.
Orion is a very literal fellow. But it's been a pleasure to catch up and chat. Thank you for meeting with us and me.
Thank you for having me.
Hope I can reach out to the other two families. It will be interesting to get in contact with them. But I hope the tea was to your liking. I think I remembered the right one. It's been a while.
It was close. Something about it wasn't quite right. But it was close enough that I could take it.
Kitchen can understand what you're saying, but he's hurt no matter what.
It's mostly just any sort of tea that this demon would consume would likely have hints of brimstone in it, which you wouldn't have known crafting it for the first time.
Duh, right? I mean, seventh circle of hell, should have known. Oh well, next time.
Exactly. There's always a next time.
I will see what I can do. I will bid them adieu as the spell ends. If the party wants to do anything while I have been chit-chatting, feel free.
He just waves and away he goes. Is there anything else the party would like to do tonight before we move to the next day?
Well, that wasn't so bad, huh? Interesting fella.
You have some interesting friends, Orion.
You meet a lot of interesting folks when you wander the world. They seemed to think well of the group. And
well, that's nice.
And it would seem we got as close to the property as we could without, brimstone and the like in the mix. So they
Next time.
they were quite happy with the offering they received, Kitchen. Well done.
Excellent. I'm very pleased. But with that, I'm going to call it a night. I'm just going to go sit in the corner.
Of course.
I'm going to work on my armor for a while.
Give me another performance check then, please, dear. Yes, you're making good progress. I mean, it's slow going. Hand making armor is really, really slow. But you're making good progress. I mean, you've got a good, 4 inches of the front panel made. And that includes, 2 rows of scales.
It's a good start.
How big are these dragon scales? Okay.
They're about that big. It's about 4 inches by 6. So, sorry, no, you only get 1 row of scales because you've only got 4 inches of chain made. So you've got 1 row of scales. But you're ready to start building up another 6 inches of,
Chain.
chain before you put on your next set of scales. All right. As you settle in for the night, it is quiet. You keep a fire, low so you're not discovered here in the town. In the morning, you wake and move through the town. Kitchen. We're coming back to that thing that I said to remind me of because I had the thought.
Good. I made a post-it.
Yeah. As you move through the town, you're realizing more and more that not only was this the origination of that whole animated armor thing, but you're pretty sure that until recently, this was the birthplace of the Warforged.
Kitchen's gonna share that with everybody.
You think that the master who created you, his line, his family line, came from here.
I'd like to explore a bit more. After we deal with Arrhenius or whatever this monster's name is.
Fantastic. As you approach the knight's barracks, you realize that this set of barracks is surrounded by 60-foot high curtain walls. And I don't mean flimsy curtain, that is actually
Fabric.
it's not fabric, it's actually a old way of constructing brick walls. You would think sort of if I'm not mistaken, the Great Wall of China is just a huge curtain wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's what is surrounding this knight's barracks. 60-foot high curtain wall.
That's an impressive wall.
Yes, it is. The front gate is wide open. And as you cautiously approach and peer in, what you see is a huge, hulking metal construct.
Brother?
Mage arm.
All across it are platforms, as if one were able to ride it. For now, it seems to be inert and not moving. You hear the shifting and clanking of armor as others approach. And you realize that there is a small, veritable army of animated armor that now has you surrounded. And before you can say anything, do anything else, stepping out on top of the giant metal construct is a woman in black and red gilded armor, with red feathered wings, pale flesh, and horns in her helmet. She stands there with what appears to be a whip wrapped around her hand, a long sword on her hip, a long bow across her back. And she stares down at you and gives the most spine-shivering cackle you have heard in a long time. If the old man who ran this town could not stop me from turning it into my own little slice of hell, what hope do you have? And that is where we're going to call it for tonight. I hope everybody had a fun little intermittent session between a dragon and a devil. The party is now sort of between a rock and a hard place. And we will have to see how they handle this. We do know that Orion's Thinking Rock is coming up soon, and the shrine dedicated to the Thinking Man. And they are soon to be approaching Silversummit, assuming they live through this. Join us next week to find out exactly if they managed to live through this or not. And I hope to all the gods above that they do, because if they don't, I may have scaled this wrong. I don't think I have, but maybe I did. Who knows? That being said, please remember the pandemic is still going on, so wear a mask if you feel uncomfortable or you're not feeling well. Wash your hands, sanitize as much as possible without killing the good germs on your hands. Social distance where you can, and be kind to one another. And remember, roar for initiative. See you next week.
Happy Thanksgiving to those in Canada.
Oh yeah,
Happy
happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.